Good morning. Welcome to the live online classes. Today I'm going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 6, the Chinese civilization. You can refer to your history textbooks from page number 47, okay? Now, whenever we are talking about this Chinese civilization, we are talking about the country called China, okay? We are talking about the country called China. This vast country called China is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean in the east. So, Pacific Ocean in the east, Himalayas in the south. You find Himalayas in the south of China. For India, you find in the north, okay? Himalayas in the south, deserts and mountains. Deserts and mountains. MTS means mountains in the west. So I'm talking about the broad deserts, vast desert, okay? And the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China you find in the north. So, this is the area where you find the country called China, and this is the place where the earliest civilization called the Chinese civilization developed. In the region of two rivers. There are two rivers. I am going to rub the blackboard. In the region of two rivers. The two rivers are known as, okay, Huang Ho, okay. It is also called by another name, Wang He. It is also called by another name that is known as Wang He. So this is one river. Another river is known as, okay, Yangtze Kayang, okay. So this Chinese civilization, the oldest civilization or the river valley civilization developed near the river, okay. There are two rivers that is known as Huang Ho and Yangtze Kayang about 4,000 years ago according to your book. But if you look at another history book, okay, you'll find it developed around 4,500 years ago. Since the river Huang Ho, okay, was also known as the Sorrow of China. This river is also known as the Sorrow of China. It is also called China's Pride. There are two names given for this river, Sorrow of China and, okay, China's Pride, okay. This Huang Ho river is also known as the Sorrow of China because it often changed its course after the flood. This river used to flood. And when excess water was found on the land, it caused destruction not only to the crops, but also canal dug for irrigation. So whenever I'm talking about canal means, okay, artificial passages created for boats, okay, ships, and for irrigation purposes. Now irrigation means watering the crops. They use canals for watering the crops. So this Sorrow of China not only caused destruction but affected people living near the banks of the river, okay. So that's why it is called the Sorrow of China. But why it is called the China's Pride? Now after the flood water receded back, okay, when the water of the flood went back to the rivers, it often, okay, left behind fertile soil for agriculture. Therefore, it is known as China's Pride because it helped China to build the oldest civilization which continued till today, okay. The Huang Ho river is also called the Yellow River. Now, this river is also called not only Sorrow of China and China's Pride, it is also called Yellow River. Why it is called Yellow River? Because it brought down fertile yellow sediments, yellow color sediments from the mountain areas. Therefore, it is called a yellow river. It is also called a yellow river. And this river is often termed as the cradle of the civilization. This river is also termed as the cradle, C-R-A-D-L-E, cradle of the civilization. This river is often termed as the cradle of the civilization. C-R-A-D-L-E. Cradle means the birthplace. Something originates in that particular place. So, where something originated, okay, or it was nurtured, or it was born. The root of, okay, this civilization is found near this Huang Ho River or Wang He River, okay. As it was the birthplace of the northern Chinese civilization. So, North Chinese civilization developed near the Huang Ho or Wang He River. So, North China was developed near this, okay, Huang Ho River. Whereas, okay, sorry, the spelling is wrong here. Okay, whereas South China was born, okay, or it began near the Yangtze River, okay, Yangtze River, okay. But historically, Yangtze okay, river serves as the political boundary between North China and South China. But actually, okay, it serves as a, okay, what we call a nation's boundary between North China and South China. It divides North China and South China. These two rivers divides North China and South China by a political boundary. Now, that time only I told you, China became the cradle of the earliest civilization or world's earliest civilization, and it is the only ancient civilization that has continued till to this day, to the present day. Due to what? Due to number one, fertile soil, F-E-R-T-I-L-E, fertile soil. Another reason is, okay, water for irrigation. Another reason is temperate climate. Temperate climate means, okay, moderate climate or free from extremes, okay, temperate climate. Another one is natural waterways, okay, natural waterways. These are the reason why China is called the cradle of the civilization, because all these things help them to develop an oldest civilization of the world, that is known as the Chinese civilization, okay. And also, okay, it is also due to many inventions. Now, what are the inventions, okay, that was basically, okay, accomplished in ancient times, okay, by the Chinese civilization, which contributed greatly to the progress of mankind, which developed mankind, okay. The four great inventions of Chinese are the compass that we use today, number one. Number two is gunpowder that we use today, okay, for protecting our boundaries, national as well as international boundaries. Another one is paper that we use in our daily lives, which was invented by the Chinese, as well as movable type printing, okay. Now, these are the four inventions that you have to remember or mug up in mind, okay, which basically contribute to the progress of mankind, okay. It helped not only the Chinese people, but people living around the world, okay. It also has the world's longest continuously used written language script or system that I'm going to explain it later, and had done splendid work in the field of agriculture as well as irrigation, as well as ceramic pottery. Ceramic pottery means matoko bhara, okay, matoko bartan, okay, or what we call utensils or pots which are made of mud. Silk textile also. Now Chinese are the people who basically invented the silk, resam, okay, through silkworm, by sericulture, medicine and astronomy also. Now, Chinese civilization also saw the development of many cultures. Now, cultures means ethnic group, okay, or ethnic dynasties, okay. In Nepali, it is called Rajbangsaru, okay. Now, I am going to write on the blackboard which dynasties came, okay, in China. Chinese civilization also saw the development of many cultures and rise and fall of this, okay, dynasties, okay. Whenever we are talking about dynasties, okay, there were many dynasties in China. The birth of the ancient Chinese civilization dates back to c. 2000 BCE. What it means is, okay, C means, okay, C means C-I-R-C-A. Circa means Latin, okay, it's a Latin word which means around, which means A-R-O-U-N-D, around, okay, or about, or roughly, okay. It also means approximately, okay, approximately, okay. So whenever you find this word C dot or C-I-R-C-A, circa, okay, or C-C-A, okay, or if you find C-C, okay, or only C-A, it means this, okay. So the birth of the ancient Chinese civilization dates back to approximately 2000 years before the common era, according to Chinese historical records, the Xia dynasty, okay. So the first dynasty which came is known as Xia dynasty, D-Y-N-A-S-T-Y dynasty. So I'm rubbing this one. The first dynasty is this one, which came, was the first dynasty of China. The rise and fall of a succession or a sequence of dynasties are after Xia, okay. After Xia, which dynasty came, okay? Song dynasty. Which ruled from 1765, okay, to 1122 BC, which was overthrown by the Zhou dynasty. It is also called Zhou, it is also called Zhou, okay. In your book it is known as Zhou. Zhou dynasty, it is also known as Chu. Zhou dynasty, which ruled till the 3rd century BC. So this dynasty basically overthrew or defeated the Song dynasty, okay. Then after, okay, Zhou dynasty, which dynasty came? It is known as, okay, Qin dynasty. It is known as Qin dynasty. In, okay, Google, if you want to, okay, search for the Qin dynasty, it is written as C-H-I-N, Qin dynasty, okay. Then after that another dynasty came, okay, which is known as the Han dynasty. So altogether there are 5 dynasties which ruled China. The northern and southern part of China was united under the rule of Qin dynasty in 221 BCE, where Qin Shi Huang was the first emperor of China, okay. Qin Shi Huang, okay, the name is written as Huang. basically united the North China and South China in this dynasty called the Qin dynasty. Okay. Note the early Chinese civilization. The early Chinese civilization, these two civilizations belong to the Bronze Age, but later civilization belong to the Iron Age. There was a transition from Bronze Age to, okay, Iron Age. Now after this, okay, we are doing social life. Okay, I'm going to, okay, social life. Social life in Nepali means samajik, okay, samajik, relating to members of particular group, okay. So there was class divisions or social divisions, okay. There was class divisions or social divisions, class divisions. Class means varga, okay. Class divisions existed in Chinese society, okay. Category was divided under a particular section, okay, from the top, okay. So there is a picture, okay, or a figure in page number, okay, 48, okay. Here is the figure. You can look at this figure or a triangle, okay. This is the, okay, what we call a figure of, okay, class divisions, okay. Now, class divisions existed in Chinese society. At the top, was the king or the emperor. So, I'm making these class divisions, okay, here like this way, so that you can understand. At the top, so who held the highest position at the top? It was the king. The king was also known as emperor, E-M-P-E-R-O-R, emperor, okay. So it was known as emperor, okay. The second were the nobles and military officials, nobles and military officials. The first position was occupied by the king and the emperor. The second position was occupied by the nobles and military officials. Now, nobles are basically, okay, whenever I'm talking of the nobles, they are basically lords, okay, L-O-R-D-S, lords, or noblemen, okay, who basically advised the king in times of war as well as in peace. They were the people who supported the king, okay. They were wealthy and powerful like the king himself. And military officials, you know, military officials are persons who are basically armed people, okay. They are armed officers or military officers, came next to the king. The merchants and farmers, the merchants are basically traders. Bepari we call it, okay. Bepari in Nepali or also in Hindi, I think so, okay. Farmers, okay, kisan, okay. Farmers belong to the third class or artisans. Now, artisans are basically people, okay, who basically, okay, makes, okay. They are skilled laborers, okay, who makes, okay, things with their hands, okay. They make craft. So, merchants, farmers and artisans belong to the third class. Whereas the slaves belong to the fourth class. They were basically prisoners of war, okay, who formed the lowest class in the society. They were usually POW, okay. POW means a person who surrenders to enemy in times of war. So there were four classes. You can see they were slaves, okay, S-L-A-V-E-S, who came last in the society. Those, okay, soldiers, okay, occupied a special place in society as they were feared, means people were afraid of the soldiers, as well as they respected the, okay, they were respected by the common people. The Chinese lived in joint families. Remember that the Chinese lived in joint families, well, where the eldest male, okay, the oldest male or the, eldest male was the member, male member was the head of the family. So we are talking about the patriarchal system, Patriarchal, patriarchal system of family, okay, where the male is the head of the family, okay, whereas the woman is the heart of the family, okay. The families lived in groups. Groups means team, okay, or what we call member, okay. We are talking of groups means member of people or clan. They lived in clans or groups. What is a clan? Now, whenever we are talking about clan, it means bunks. It means bunks, okay. Bunks or kul. In Nepali also I am writing here so that you can understand what is bunks or kul, okay. It is also known as what we call, okay, ancestor blood, okay, bloodline. It is also called ancestor bloodline. We have the blood of our great grandfathers, okay, which is running in our veins. So we form a, okay, typical clan, okay. And respected the ancestors. Ancestors means purkha or grandparents or great grandparents and elders. The family was a close-knit family or a unit. Close-knit means held together by special ties, that is family ties, which was an important part of this civilization. Children respected and obeyed their elders, okay. So they were very, very obedient and dutiful, okay. Now I am going to, okay, start with the third topic, okay, that is called religion. Religion, R-E-L-I-G-I-O-N, religion. Now, a widely prevalent practice was the ancestor worship. The common practice that they did in religion was ancestor worship. Ancestor worship. They worship their ancestors. Okay. This worship is known as, okay, A-N-I-M-I, okay, animism, okay, animism. It is known as animism. So what is animism? I want to tell you. The doctrine that all natural objects and the universe itself has soul. Even the trees have soul, even the forest has soul, even the water, even the sun, etc., even the grandparents, okay, after they die, they are basically, okay, what we call powerful souls, which helps us and guides us in our future, okay. So they worship ancestors, okay. So whenever we are talking about ancestor worship, they believe that, okay, after death, okay, the dead are transformed into all powerful souls or spirits, supernatural beings, okay, which basically guides us. So this is prevalent, okay, this practice is prevalent in our tribal society. In Nepali also, okay, we basically worship our ancestors, we basically worship nature. Are you understanding? So if you belong to the Thapa community, if you belong to the Lepcha community, if you belong to, okay, Subba community, we worship ancestors. Ancestral form of worship is known as animism, okay. So the dead was buried in tombs, okay, they were buried in tombs along with furnitures, pottery, bronze vessels, okay, and other objects. They also buried the dead with the things they love the most so that they can use these things in their afterlife when they become powerful souls, okay. The Chinese emperor, okay, Si Hongdi was buried in a huge underground tomb with an army of life-size terracotta figures to guard him. So I'm talking about the terracotta army. Okay, you have a picture of that terracotta army, I think so, in the book. Okay, in page number 51. You can go to page number 51. Here you have a terracotta army. Okay, this army was basically built with mud. Okay, brownish red mud, which is called terracotta. Okay, which is also called mato or matti. Okay. This was built to guard the emperor, that is Si Hongdi, okay? This is the first form of worship, okay? The second form of worship is known as the worship of nature, okay? They worship the forces of nature. So, forces of nature was worshipped. Forces of nature was worshipped, okay? The third form of worship, so they worship the natural phenomenon, okay? They worship the, fire, light, etc., water, etc., trees, etc. These are known as, forces of nature, okay, or natural phenomenon, okay? The third one is they believed in chief god. There was one important god, okay, which was known as the chief god, okay? It was known as the emperor above, Emperor, emperor above, okay? There is an emperor above, okay, us. That is known as God, who lives in heaven, okay? Emperor above, okay? He is the ruler of us. The emperor of China, who was regarded as the son of Shangdi, okay? The god of heaven. The Shangdi is known as god of heaven, Shangdi. Shangdi is the god of heaven, okay? The god of heaven. So, the god of heaven is basically the emperor above, okay? And the king of China was considered as the son of Shangdi, okay? Now, the fourth form of worship that you find is basically, okay, prophesizers. They are called oracles, okay? They are called oracles, O-R-A-C-L-E-S, oracles, and priests, P-R-I-E-S-T-S, priests. Priests are basically prophets or prophesizers, okay, who were believed to be close to God himself, okay? They followed the practice of consulting oracles or holy priests. They used to consult, they used to take, okay, what we called, okay, ideas, okay, from the oracles and priests, okay, for knowing the future. The oracles used to keep either tortoise shell, okay? So the oracles use T-O-R-T-O-I-S-E, tortoise shell. Okay, or cattle bones. So I am writing on the blackboard. These oracles used to keep either tortoise shell or cattle bones over fire. They used to burn this tortoise shell or cattle bones on the fire. They basically foretold or predicted, okay, or basically promised, okay, future of the people on the basis of the cracks that appeared on the tortoise shell or bones of the cattle. Due to heat, okay, the tortoise shell or the cattle bone used to break, or there used to have a crack or fissures, etc. According to the cracks, they used to tell the future of that particular person, okay. The fourth, okay, so after these are four forms of worship, okay, these are four forms of worship that they used to practice in religion, okay. Later, the Chinese became follower of three main religions. Three main religions. There were three main religions they followed, okay, later on. Number one is known as, okay, Taoism. Number one is known as Taoism. Number one is known as Taoism, okay, as number two is known as Confucianism. Confucianism, okay, Confucianism and Taoism, these two basically developed in China. These are the two religions, 1, 2. The third religion basically is Buddhism, which developed in India. Remember that. Okay, Taoism was developed by, founded by, Lao, Tasi. Okay, not Tasi, Tasi, Lao Tasi. It was founded by Lao Tasi. Taoism preached the importance of leading a simple life, okay. Now, The second religion, that is known as Confucianism, was founded by Confucius, okay? Was founded by C-O-N-F-U-C-I-U as Confucius, okay? Who lived from 551, okay, to, okay, 479 BC. He laid stress on the rule of conduct. Conduct means acharan, okay, beura, okay, person's behavior, okay, wait. Conduct of society rather than gods and death. So he basically stressed, okay, his teachings on the rule of conduct of society rather than on gods and death. He believed that a person's behavior should be basically good, okay, acharan should be good, instead of, okay, talking about gods and death. He asked his followers to practice such virtues. Virtues means moral conduct, okay. What is called moral conduct? Moral conduct is called sadgun, okay, sadgun, okay, as hardworking, honesty. Honesty means imandari, okay. Imandari means quality of being honest. Truth, satya, okay. Respect for elders and ancestors. You have to respect your elders as well as ancestors. You have to talk, okay, honestly. Okay, you have to be honest and truthful as well as hardworking. These are the virtues that you have to maintain while leading a good life in this, okay, world. Okay, his teachings are described in these 5 books known as 5 classics. 5 classics, C-L-A-S-S-I-C-S, classics. So it is described in his, okay, 5, okay, what we call books known as, okay, 5 classics. The last, okay, topic I am discussing is education in part 1. Now, whenever we are talking about education, the school basically was established or opened by the nobles. Was basically built by the nobles. The nobles often set up an educational institution for their offsprings. They basically built, okay, these schools for their children, okay. This school is known as Imperial Schools, okay. And one of the Imperial Schools that you find is, okay, Zhangjiang. It is also known as Zhangjiang. It is one of the imperial schools, okay, school of empire, okay. And this is also known as, okay, Zhang, okay, Sang, okay. It is also known as Sang, okay, founded in 4,200 years ago, okay, in Yusan, okay, province or era in China. It was founded in Yu, okay, Yusan era in China. It was founded in Yusan era in China. It was one of the 5 imperial schools, okay, in the capital city in Zhou, okay. It was founded in the capital city called Zhou. That time only we studied of the Zhou dynasty. This is also known as Chu dynasty, okay. This is the northern school that we are talking about. There were other 4 schools known as Dong, okay, Dongzhu, okay, Chengzhu, okay, Guiyong and Piyong schools, okay. There were 5 schools. Therefore, I am telling you the name of the 5 schools, okay. But these 5 schools are not mentioned in your book, okay. But I am telling you, Dongzhu, Chengzhen, okay, Zhugan, okay, and Piyong, okay. It taught 6 arts, okay. So in this school, what was taught? Okay, right, religious right was taught, okay. Archery, music was taught. Archery was taught. Archery was taught, okay. C-H-A-R-I-O-T, charioteering was taught, okay, as well as, okay, literature and maths was taught. And maths was taught. It was the first step towards systematic education, okay, fixed plan, okay, system, okay, where you conduct, okay, where you organize and carry out an examination. This examination was called competitive examination or competition, okay. There was an examination which had competition, okay. This competition exam was called Imperial Examination to select public officials. The Imperial Examination started in early 7th century and lasted for 1300 years. Okay. With this, I have completed the part 1 of the Chinese civilization. Hope you find this lesson useful. Thank you for listening.